Daniel Lacalle is still with us, Tressa's chief economist. Daniel, what are your thoughts on the European recovery? We note the vaccine rollout is now happening, and the European recovery package is finally starting to take form. We could see at least, I think, 13% of the money distributed this summer.
Yeah. I think that the most important part of the European recovery is the vaccine rollout. I think that if the pace that we are seeing right now, as Maria was mentioning, it's accelerated significantly in most European countries. That is going to be key to the reopening and to an improvement in the services sector, which continues to be extremely hurt. I think that the challenge in the European Union, even with the recovery fund, is the recovery of employment. We see that, for example, furloughed jobs remain very elevated, that unemployment remains very elevated, and that the recovery of jobs that is slow but steady in the United States is likely to be slower in the Eurozone in particular. So I think that, it's good news in general, but the question is how much of it is already embedded in the estimates of recovery, the 5% recovery of GDP of the Eurozone, particularly the 2022. Because, again, the recovery fund is a good piece of news, but we have to remember the very low effectiveness of these types of programs. Remember the Juncker plan.
Right.
Remember the 2009 Jobs and Growth Plan.
Well, is this one to build on, though, Daniel? Do you expect more fiscal stimulus from Europe or recovery money from Brussels for the peripheral economies now that they've started selling euro bonds and working together like this to distribute cash?
Yeah, I do. I think that we're going to see that the example led by Draghi in Italy is likely to be followed into other economies. I think that the European Union is going to try this time to maximize all fiscal measures possible. But if you have everything closed, the economy is going to be in the doldrums anyhow. So my point is, I think that what the European governments would need to do is, and I think it's been wise to have a different pace of delivery of the recovery funds for the countries, so that it does not become a spend quickly and badly as we have seen in the past.
Daniel, this is the last year of Angela Merkel, and she has really been the leader not only of Europe, but in some ways of the entire G20. Who takes the reins after she's gone? I mean, is it a Draghi? Can it be a Macron? Is it less likely to be a Pedro Sanchez? Who helps to really run Europe in terms of the leaders of the country?
Well, I think that if somebody is shaping up to be the person that can lead the European Union to a next step, because of his knowledge of the fiscal and the monetary side of the economy, is Draghi. I think that Italy can surprise us quite significantly in 2021. I think that he has put together a very strong package in which not only the vast majority of investments do have real economic return, but he has also decided not to increase taxes, in fact, to cut taxes. So he has been extremely pro-growth. And I think that that can be an important driver of leadership for the European Union in a moment in which I think that the different candidates in Germany have almost a desire to find somebody else from another country that is going to lead the European Union in the next years. So it could be Draghi, it could be Macron, but Macron is probably more challenged by the internal difficulties in terms of acceptance and in terms of political support. But it can be both. I think that it's all about putting the European Union in a growth mode in which investment generates real economic return, and in which taxes don't remain as elevated as they are.
Daniel, it's been great getting some time with you today. Thanks so much for joining us and giving us your insight. Daniel Lacalle there, Tressis chief economist.